Hello, I'm the poet Lisa, and I've made a video for Instagram, a live video, which only lasts for 24 hours from what I gather, and I thought I'd do this poem again and show this book called Unrequited Love by Lisa. It's only on, the title is only on the side here, and the book has just pictures on it on the front. My son drew. Doing this version for Facebook and YouTube, and I'd like to show you the picture here. These poems are about what men and women go through in life, searching for love. They experience a lot of heartache, relationships that turn out not to be what you thought they would be in the long run. I know that through life I kind of, like many people, went by, oh, it's fate or destiny, and, you know, through doing it the hard way, like that, you know, and learn to find out that that's not at all how you find love, a true successful marriage, and happy children in this world. But I would like to help people. I can help people how to find that. But for right now, this is the book that is about what led me through this life that I've went through. I have 2 or 3 more of these books, but the way of helping you to be able to find how to find real love in this world that truly make you happy is not a book for me, and I'll share with that later, that you can learn from. It does come from the Bible in the long run, but that's another subject. I'll be sharing individual poems out of this book. But this is a picture that my son drew of me, and if you can see, there's an upside down rose here, and the rose is the mouth and the leaves are the eyes, and this is how he seen me when he come back from Iraq. I asked him to sit down and draw how you see me now, and he didn't want to do it. I said, no, you should really do it. Something will really come out of it, I'm sure, because he's a great artist. And I'll show you a picture that he done as a child at 2.5 years old that really told me he was going to be a great artist. And this turns out to be a 3-dimensional poem. It also describes really what happens to a person, especially, I mean, for a woman, because I can only tell you from a woman's point of view, how a woman's left feeling after too many broken hearts. And that's what comes out of it on the other side, as you can see, which would be the back, front, however you want to look at it. A 3-dimensional, this is like a Van Gogh, much like the Van Gogh, The Scream. The roses are mouth, or the head, you know. Love can make you crazy, make you lose your mind. And, you know, the rose represents love. And there's the stem, and there's the eyes, and of course the very mentally exhausted looking face. And he drew that, but this is what he drew as I'm not sure it'll show up very well in here, as a 2.5-year-old child. This is how he drew his mother, how he felt she looked. He didn't even have his language down yet. Just barely learning his first words, and so he may have been even younger than 2, and pretty good for that age. So the poem that I shared on this has artwork in it of mine as well, of which I am not an artist. Art comes to me by inspiration alone. I was having a really rough night, and the person I was with at the time, named John, he was asleep, and I got up and just felt this overwhelming need to start drawing. I don't know why, because I'm not an artist or really shared any interest in it. And I just started drawing on the wall with a red color pencil and a black pencil so I could erase, and of course a white wall, and I drew it like in a cartoon frames. Each one I felt something different that I needed to do. I couldn't see, it was dark in the room because I didn't want to wake John, and oddly enough, these are the pictures that came out the next morning. And oddly enough, he looks like John, and we just started our relationship, so this picture really describes how John felt inside. He was an alcoholic, and he also, in this cartoon, he has a bottle that he carries, and of course the bottle has a face in it as well that talks to him and, gives him false courage. That's often what alcohol does, is give you false courage or helps you to forget things that you can't handle. And this cartoon is, the idea based upon it is, I've been on drugs, been there, done that, come back. So John never came back. He's dead now. This one, they're all in black, red, and white, like the cover. But I couldn't afford that in the book, so they're just in black and white here. But oddly enough, this looks a lot like a new version of St. Louis Cardinal. This represents my son in my life. He's the bird. And he grew up to build airplanes. And that's the one here of me that looks, this is the one that represents madness. And this one, there's a maze that I have that there's a dancing and singing flower. Let's see if it's in the front here. I think that they basically start out going through this maze. Well, first the girl goes through this storm of life. If you can look closely, there's a person there, and of course she heads out into the storm looking for a love and a man to take the lead in her life and guide her and through life. Life is so hard, and she comes to this maze and meets, soon it turns into a dancing and singing rose, and they go into this maze and they go through this tunnel of love. And this is on the outside of the tunnel, and madness, of course, is crazy, screaming, don't go looking for love, it will drive you crazy. Much like the Nazareth song, our love leads to madness. And it certainly can. Love can lead you to madness. And I, ironically, look much like one of the Simpsons family. Of course, women, a lot of times if we're in a bad relationship, we'll lie to ourselves. So that's why I have the long nose, Pinocchio nose. It's been a long time lying to myself about the problems that I had and that John had. And wear a jester's hat. Comedy and laughter, of course, is one of the main things that would help you get through the many, many hard times that we each go through in our lives. Of course, it takes two. I mean, it's not just one person's blame that a relationship doesn't work out. Many times, a man won't realize what his part is in it, and a woman won't realize what her part is in it until hindsight. Hindsight is 20/20. Of course, this one is the eye that runs through there after you've walked through these different stories, telling different stories through love, making jokes about hindsight. There's one in here that, where is it? Anyway, there's one in there about an eye that looks backed into a corner, which love often makes many of us feel backed into a corner. But I'm going to read this poem about John called Cruel John. It's Cruel John. He has no soul, shares no heart, out of control except just to break you apart. He lives inside you and will only move on, ever so silent, 'cause you're the one who enjoyed him with love. He'll touch you deep to tie himself to your soul. While he goes free, he will never let you go. Around his finger you have been twisted and tried. Before his eyes you will have begged and cried. Still no sound will he ever hear. The feel of love is not what he will fear. It's how he reaches out and loses control, his loss of power, his loss of soul, as he leads a cruel dance of love and lies, and pretends cruel John feels nothing inside. The dance never ends, though the rhythm does change, the heartbeat driven weak, though the feeling so strange. The mind runs away. Even though the mind runs away, you shall remain his young woman in hand. The heart starts to pray not to give in. Yet he sweeps you away with his softer side. Bittersweet is the dance, and you won't take it in stride. Still you found so softly your soul in his hand, and now cruel John has so deceitfully made himself your man. Slow dancing your heart to the rib from his side, he whispers in your ear, how cruel, my lady love has died. Cruel John. Anyway, you can find this book, Unrequited Love, by Lisa. I just go by Lisa. At Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and Arthur House in paperback or hardcover. Thank you for listening.